Today we're looking at the arm bar. So it's a really great movement for two reasons. One, it's a movement that stretches out across your chest, through the front of your delts or your shoulder, as well as your thoracic spine or this mid-back section here through twisting as we go through it. It's also a really good exercise for a gentle shoulder stability exercise. Because it's a low impact, you're holding the weight up there, but what you're asking your shoulder to do is keep it aligned with your hand and shoulder so that there's a lot of activation, a lot of work that goes on in that shoulder joint. So let's break it down. You're going to take your kettlebell. You're going to start on your side. So just using a light kettlebell. You don't want to be using anything too loaded because this is not about going as heavy as you can. The point is to stretch and get a bit of movement and just wake up the muscles in your shoulders so that you can then go and do a more advanced shoulder session afterwards. So we're going to start with a light bell. You're going to roll on your side and roll onto your back. You're going to use two hands to press the bell up. And then you're going to take this free hand and you're going to bring it back up over your head to beside your ear. I can also creep down a little because my hands are caught in the kettlebells. So you're going to take your bent knee, you're going to reach it up and you're going to use the weight of your leg, you're going to stretch it out and that weight is going to help you roll. And as you roll, you're going to keep pushing your foot out and reach it as far as you can, with the aim to get your hips facing towards the ground as much as you can. So you'll this top hand right here, you're going to use that and you're going to creep it back so it can come out from under your ear and you're going to walk it back as far as you can. So from this position, you'll see I'm quite twisted. Out of the corner of my eye, I'm keeping a watch on what my kettlebell is doing. So when a kettlebell is above you, you always keep your eye on the bell. And you just sit in this position. You're just going to breathe through it. And as you do, let your hips sink more towards the floor. You can reach that top foot right out. Now you notice my arms just wavering just a little bit, and that's my shoulder working to keep balance of where the bell's at. So this is really switching on all those muscles through my shoulder, while at the same time allowing a big, big stretch through the front of my chest. Now to come back, you're just going to gently tuck your knee towards your body and you'll roll yourself over. You won't really have to do a lot of work there. You'll kind of unwind a bit like an elastic band. Bring your knees up, two hands are going to bring the bell down and you're just going to roll back to your side. So you notice it's not a move that you want to do quickly, just very gradually. Small movements, so creep my hand out, stretch my leg out, just pushing those edges, and the longer you're holding that position for, the more you'll find you'll be able to just get a little bit more movement out of it from when you first started. Trying to get that stretch, so creeping your hand and leg out as you exhale will make it easier to get more of a stretch through your body. When you set up, be sure, tuck your hand right in. You want it centered on the bell, so you want to be right in the middle. You don't want to be jammed in a corner because that's going to make it hold weird once it's up above your head. And that's the last place you want to be adjusting a kettlebell. So make sure from the start, your hand comes into the center of the handle, tucks right in there, and that bell is really tightly wedging against your wrist. You want to make sure as you roll up that your wrist is nice and straight. So this is the position, straight wrist, that you always want to have it in. So a good way to know if you're holding the bell right is that it will be really uncomfortable on the back of your arm. If it's really uncomfortable, you're holding the bell right. If you want to shift it away and be like, oh, that's so much better, it's so relieving on the back of my arm, that's wrong. You're holding the bell wrong. You don't want to let this wrist drop back here. This weakens your whole arm. So tuck that in. Embrace the discomfort. You get used to it. Yes, making sure that you're holding that nice and tight. this is a really good exercise to do if you feel like you're a bit tight, or even if just to get a bit of movement as a good warm-up. If you feel that you want to do your shoulder session, but at the start of the session, you're just a little bit stiff, you're not quite getting that movement that you want, these are a really great way of kind of getting a bit of blood flow to the joint and getting yourself warmed up. So feel free to jump in, use them, go nuts. They're great, and enjoy.